Welcome, Saiyans and Earthlings alike, to another electrifying episode of the Dragon Ball Z podcast.
That's right, folks. Get ready to power up your listening experience as we dive deep into the world of Dragon Ball Z.
I'm Dayton, your seasoned warrior of the mic, alongside the ever-energetic Todd, ready to bring you the latest news, discussions, and power level analysis from across the Dragon Ball universe.
From the fiery battles on Namek to the epic showdowns against the deadliest villains, we're here to break down every Kamehameha and Spirit Bomb.
So grab your sensu beans, tune in your scouter, and join us as we embark on this legendary journey through the cosmos of Dragon Ball Z and artificial intelligence. Tonight's episode is going to be powered by ChatGPT as we give our AI overlords a crack at writing a dramatic and riveting Dragon Ball tale. Not only is this episode a brand new, never before heard for you or our co-host Todd, you all will be experiencing this for the first time together. And with all that covered, Todd, are you ready to see how an artificially generated story powered by the infinite wisdom of the internet compares to the tales crafted by the one and only Toriyama?
I'm sure that AI writes better than Akira Toriyama, hands down.
So this is going to be an interesting episode because, like I said, Todd's hearing this for the first time, so he's going to be reacting to it alongside you guys. And I'm really not sure how this is going to go because this is our first crack at really getting creative with instant transmission.
Yeah, I'm excited. And this is going to be, like you said, Dayton, I'm along for the ride. I don't have to do much of anything except for react to whatever interesting story you have to present.
All right, it's ITDB AI story time, and we kick things off as Goku valiantly battles Frieza to save Vegeta, the Saiyan prince who watched in amazement as his longtime rival fought for his life. However, Frieza's relentless onslaught left Goku battered and exhausted on the brink of defeat. And I like the framing that the AI goes with at the start of this because it's Vegeta watching his rival in amazement. And I mean, it's kind of a trope that we've seen a couple times, but we've never really seen it just written this blatantly.
It's weird phrasing, right? Like, yeah, Vegeta, when he watches Goku, like, let's say when he sees Goku go Super Saiyan against Frieza for the first time, Vegeta's, like, in awe, impressed, but he would never describe it as watching in amazement.
Yeah, and I mean, maybe that's a fault with Dragon Ball. Maybe the AI's onto something where they need to just put it out there and let Vegeta just be in awe of his inferior.
I mean, yeah, maybe they understand Vegeta's true heart inside.
Well, in a desperate bid to turn the tide of the battle, Goku made a bold decision. Drawing upon the ancient fusion technique, he fused with Krillin, creating a powerful new warrior, Go Krillin. So I forgot to look this up. Is there an actual fusion name for Goku and Krillin? Because I've never even thought about that until this made it happen.
I'm pretty sure there is, even though it's not technically canon. I think that there is one it's one of the older Dragon Ball games where you could basically fuse every character together.
I mean, it's pretty hilarious. It's one of those things where I thought the idea of these two fusing was funny. I forgot about coming up with a name for them. And when this just came with Go Krillin, simple, beautiful, elegant. AI, you've done it again.
I like that it's just, it more sounds like you're rooting for Krillin, like, go Krillin!
Well, with their combined strength, Go Krillin faced off against Frieza, but the tyrant proved to be a formidable adversary. Just when it seemed like all hope was lost, Frieza unleashed a shocking move, fusing with the remnants of Cell, creating a monstrous hybrid of their powers.
What the fuck?
I don't know why the AI took this route. Because fusing with Cell is something that I wanted this to do. Fusing with Cell's remains is not what I thought was going to happen.
Why are cells remain? I'm so confused now.
I don't know. I don't know why there are
I-
remains. If there was one cell left, he could fully regenerate, but not in this case.
That's a really good point too. But like this, I don't know if this is like, I'm almost imagining this being in the timeline of like Resurrection F now, where Frieza comes back and is like, I need to be stronger to beat those monkeys, and fuses with Cell. I don't know. I do want to also point out, because I had to look it up, the fusion between Goku and Krillin is called Gorillin.
Oh, hey, the AI wasn't far off.
Yeah.
Gorillin. Go Krillin's better. I think it should always be about Krillin.
I do like that one.
Well, realizing they needed to match Frieza cells. By the way, that's the name of this new fusion is Frieza-Cell.
No.
Needed to match Frieza cell strength. Vegeta joined forces with Goku and Krillin, and together they performed the ultimate fusion dance, creating a fusion warrior unlike any seen before. Vegitoku.
What?
So now we have Vegitoku, or Vegitoku. I'm not sure how to say it, but we have a new fusion between Goku, Krillin, and Vegeta.
I might have missed the detail. Did it specify I think it said the fusion. Did it say the fusion dance for the second fusion?
The ultimate fusion dance.
The ultimate fusion dance. Did they use the fusion dance for Goku and Krillin? Did
I
it
don't
say?
think they specified.
It doesn't specify. Okay. Whatever.
Because I think there's some rules breaking happening here. Also, they didn't really specify if they unfused and then fused all back together or what's really going on here. But we do have this new ultimate fusion. But it gets even better. With their new ally by their side, which I don't know who's they in this instance, but with their new ally by their side, Vegitoku and Go Krillin. So Go Krillin's back.
What?
Launched a coordinated assault against Frieza Cell. The battle reached unimaginable heights as the fused warriors clashed in an epic struggle for supremacy. So I don't know if there's two warriors, one warrior, who's fused with who, but man, they have my attention.
My fucking Dragon Ball brain hates some of the things that are going on right now.
I mean,
like,
this is proving that everyone's pretty much out of a job at this point.
AI is better than Akira Toriyama, proven, hands down.
So, with their new ally at their side, the battle reached unimaginable heights, right? And the warriors clash in an epic struggle for supremacy. As the fight raged on, Goku, Krillin, and Vegeta, we're back to them individually now, I think. Oh gosh, this episode.
This is amazing.
Goku, Krillin, and Vegeta felt a powerful surge of energy within them. With a shared determination to protect their universe, they performed a fusion technique never attempted before. In a blinding flash of light, they fused together, forming the ultimate warrior. GoVegeKrillinKu.
Are you? No, it does not say that.
GoVegeKrillinKu is the name of this new ultimate warrior.
No way.
Is there any instance of more than two warriors fusing like this?
So I did actually want to bring up, I didn't want to interrupt this amazing story, but there is one video game, I think it was on the Nintendo DS, called Dragon Ball Fusions, where you can basically fuse anyone and everybody together, but there's one technique. It might even be called the Ultimate Fusion Dance. I'll have to look that up. But there's one technique where you can fuse 5 characters together into a single character.
That is a party.
This is weird.
I mean, how does that even, like... I have so many questions about something like that.
Yes, like it's funny because I was originally like, you can't fuse 3 people together. This is stupid. And then I was like, wait a second.
I mean, I guess video games are their own thing, right? Like they have their license to do whatever they want, as long as it's rule of cool, I guess. But I don't even know if that's cool.
it's just kind of weird, and I think like even the character that comes out of it is almost like really like generic and weird looking in the game. But I think their whole gimmick was fuse anybody together, and it got people to buy it. So
I mean, it's nothing that they did was ever as cool as GoVegeKrillinKu. So they tried. They may have invented it, but this story perfected it.
That name, I can't. I can't even.
With their combined strength, GoVegeKrillinKu unleashed a devastating final attack, obliterating Frieza Cell and restoring peace to the universe once and for all. As the dust settled, the fused warriors unfused, leaving Goku, Krillin, and Vegeta to stand together as friends and allies, ready to face whatever challenges the future may hold.
Wait, is that the end of it?
Yes. It was interesting doing this episode because I thought I could just type in something and the chat GPT would do it all for me. You really have to kind of coax it to give you some more story. You really got to start filling in the blanks on it, because if you just ask it to write a story, it'll give you like 2 little paragraphs. You've really got to start adding more context to it.
It's funny because people who haven't really used AI, and not that I've used it a ton myself either, but people think that it basically does everything for you, but it's an art in itself trying to get AI to do what you want it to do. How many times did you revise this story? Any idea?
I probably did it, I don't know, probably close to a dozen times, adding different things to try and get it to be roughly the appropriate length, to be interesting enough, because they'll use really generic terms for a lot of things and paint you this really generic story. So to try and get something interesting, I keep having to add more and more context for it to work with.
Yeah, that's interesting. I know in the past when I've used ChatGPT, I'll like the very first thing that I'll start with, I don't know if this is like the right way to go about it, but is to say, I need you to act as an expert on this, like an expert on Dragon Ball or whatever. I don't know. I don't know if that actually helps, but that's what I've done when I've used it in the past.
I mean, so let's get into you guess what I typed in, and then I'll go over some of the other like stories that it came up with, just as a bird's eye view sort of thing as to what I was working with. So what do you think I typed into Chat GPT roughly?
Let's see. From like a broad perspective, I think that you probably typed in, give me a Dragon Ball short story that involves Krillin and involves fusion. That's my first guess here.
You actually, you're on the right path. That's actually kind of where I like really initially started things off with. Here's where I ended up. Dragon Ball Z story where Vegeta is saved from Frieza by Goku, but Goku gets in trouble and has to fuse with Krillin. Then Frieza is in trouble, so he fuses with Cell. Then everybody fuses together.
Oh, you got pretty granular. That was like your last iteration, is that right?
That was the final iteration where I kept trying to like give it more to work with, because I want something a little weird and out there and far-fetched. And it's just like, I don't know, everybody fuses together. Go, robot, come up with something.
Interesting. Do you remember what the first prompt was that you gave it, or have an idea of what it was?
The original story I think was just like something with like Dragon Ball Z story where Krillin saves the day. It was something like that. And then it was like, all right, like I'm getting these really generic things. And also, if you don't add names to it, it really like is hesitant to add any new information like that to your story. So sometimes it might grab Frieza or something like that, but it won't really grab much outside of that. And so that's why I was kind of interjecting some more characters. It's like, I want some more interesting stuff. Like I want some Vegeta. I definitely want Goku in there. And, I don't know. I want some weird stuff going on. Fusion's weird.
Yeah, that's a good idea. That's interesting. And yeah, it's funny that, I mean, you said you did somewhere around a dozen revisions. Like, it's funny how much more specific you had to get. I guess it sounds like character names are one thing that it's really resistant towards.
My screen refreshed because I went to scroll up and read through it again. But my very first prompt I typed into it was Dragon Ball Z story, where Krillin becomes immortal and saves the universe. And it gave me this really, really like emotional story where Krillin wishes for immortality, saves the universe, and then he watches all of his friends grow old and die, and then wishes to become mortal again so that way he can finally like live out the rest of his days. It was wild.
Oh damn. Okay. That's a very different from what we got towards the end, but I don't know, that's a weird one, right? Because it doesn't, like, him wishing for immortality is fun, but it doesn't have like the conflict that you imagine when you think of Dragon Ball. So
Yeah, and it also got like really dark and somber, and I was looking for goofy and fun, and that's the robot was messing with my emotions there, so I had to force it to be like more lighthearted.
don't make me cry, robot.
But yeah, I had versions where it was Dragon Ball Z story where Krillin and Goku fused to defeat Frieza and save Vegeta. That one was all right. Oddly enough, in that one, Frieza's cell existed again. And if you remember, there was no prompt for Frieza to fuse. The AI just came up with that on its own. So I just took that concept and rolled it forward.
It really wanted Frieza and Cell to fuse. I'm not opposed to Frieza and Cell fusing at all. In fact, I'm sure that that's in a million different fan fictions of Dragon Ball. But the name Frieza Cell, I want to fucking kill it, bury it, burn it. I hate it so much.
It's also Frieza dash Cell, so it's not even.
See, that's even worse. It's not even a fusion name. At least Go Krillin is kind of a fusion name.
I had a different fusion name for Goku and Krillin in one of my earlier stories. Take a crack at what you think it was.
As in one that the AI created or one that you came up with?
This was an AI creation.
What about KrilKu?
Close. This was Kruku.
Kruku.
Yeah, I don't know. I love that you can type something almost exactly the same and it just comes up with something else off the walls.
That's wild. I mean, it's super interesting.
Vegeta, watching it all, felt a surge of hope as Kruku's unstoppable assault turned the tide of the battle.
I feel like AI does not understand Vegeta's character. I'm just going to say that.
Doesn't understand Vegeta's character. Doesn't really understand fusion. Doesn't understand who's fused at what time in their own story.
Man, the fact that it flipped back and forth, like, okay, first it was Goku and Vegeta fused, and then I think they fused with Krillin, and then it was still referring to the three of them as individuals. Like, I was lost.
I had to go with this was the proper level of weird that I was looking for, and just the name GoVegeKrillinKu is fantastic. That's the best fusion name I think in all of Dragon Ball, canon and non-canon.
You're absolutely right. That is, I mean, that rivals Dragon Ball GT level of storytelling. Just gonna throw that out there.
All right, so what do you think? Give this AI generated story a score of 0 to 10. Where do you think it lands? How riveting was this? How dramatic was it?
That's a good question. I'm gonna break it up into categories here. I'm going to give it a perfect 10 out of 10 for weirdness and strangeness. Because it definitely, I don't even know how to say the name, that fusion name. Like, I can't even.
See,
yeah.
Writers are out of a job. AI's taken over. Everyone go home. It's done. It's over. Dragon Ball will be written for eternity to the highest levels.
That's right. I'm gonna give it a fucking 2 out of 10 for my Dragon Ball loving heart, because it hurts my Dragon Ball soul. But I think for entertainment value, this is getting an 8 out of 10, because it's just pretty funny and ridiculous.
Well, that's all I really had though for tonight's AI powered episode by ChatGPT. Was there anything else you wanted to talk about, or any points you wanted to bring up before we started wrapping this thing up?
I don't think so. It was funny seeing the multiple fusion people. It did make me laugh that it kind of in my mind jumped to the 5-way fusion in the Dragon Ball Fusions game, but yeah, beyond that, I was just along for the ride, so I think we can wrap this up here. Did you have anything else you wanted to say here before I go into our outro, Dayton?
I don't know. Maybe we should name this episode GoVegeKrillinKu.
You're gonna have to spell it for me.
All right. Yep. Sending it over now. Episode updated. All right.
Perfect. But that's going to be it for this episode of Instant Transmission, where we discuss everything Dragon Ball. This has been your host, Todd.
And ChatGPT.
Don't forget, we're on Patreon and Twitter. If you want to appease our AI overlords, you can find us at patreon.com/ITDBpodcast and over on Twitter at x.com/ITDBpodcast. Our podcast episodes come out every Monday morning, so you can enjoy some Dragon Ball goodness on your commute. Please like, review, and subscribe on whatever podcasting platform you're listening to us on. Thank you all so much for your support and putting up with our AI shenanigans. Be sure to join us next time as we make the Red Ribbon Army proud with yet another AI-written Dragon Ball short story. Ooh. It's my turn to do some Super Saiyan typing with ChatGPT as my battle buddy. Dayton won't know anything about my masterpiece until it's read live on the podcast, so his surprise will be as genuine as your own. Will Super Saiyan 5 make a guest appearance? Will Yamcha survive more than 3 seconds against the Saiyans? Will ChatGPT make androids take over the Earth like some sort of Terminator apocalypse? Find out next time. And to all our fellow Dragon Ball fans, stay safe out there, and remember to keep rocking the dragon.
Is Super Saiyan 5 in GT?
No, but it's a fan-made thing. It's a whole...
Oh, God.
We'll get to it another time.